The story starts off with a blonde baddie woman. We all love thick snow bunnies, but the snow bunny is in love with our main character. But because he chose the wrong path, he could untap that girl and now lives off rotten in prison. But our MC has a demonic contract that lets him not be able to speak the truth of why he betrayed her and everyone else. But he made his last attempt to tell her about his curse, but in the end he dies, and the story starts off with. The scene opens in a dimly lit, somber corridor, splattered with fresh blood, hinting at a brutal confrontation or torture that has just taken place. The blonde girl is staring down on our MC with sharp eyes. The MC is breathing heavily because he is on the brink of death and cause the pressure she is giving out. The girl is pointing the tip of her blade right in front of the MC. He is looking at the sharp blade right at the tip where he looks tired and done with life. The blonde girl says who would have known that her own friend would be rotting in this prison. This girl's whole bloodline is one of the most powerful ones in this world. Then we are shown the blonde girl showing off her abilities by cutting down everyone around her. She could slay around hundreds demonic humans in one battle. Her name was the Swords Dancer of the Heavenly Realm. We are seeing a battlefield where the Swords Dancer slayed armies of demonic humans. The blade descends with a blinding flash, a sharp, clean cut leaving a spray of blood in its wake, signifying a precise and powerful attack. The attack finds its mark, striking the man's back. Light-like particles scatter around him, emphasizing the impact and severity of the blow. A close-up shot reveals the hand of Yahello, clutching the golden hilt of her sword as it pierces through the man's garments and flesh, a cold and determined action. Yahello, her blonde hair and white robes flowing, delivers a powerful slash with her glowing sword. Her eyes, filled with intense determination, focus on her target. A close-up on Yahello's face shows her fierce concentration and unyielding gaze, her yellow eyes burning with an unwavering resolve as she confronts the man. Gu Yangchun struggles, his battered body pushed against the wall by Yahello. She grips his collar, her face contorted in anger, as a speech bubble conveys her urgent demand, "I'm sure you know." Yahello aggressively confronts Gu Yangchun, pinning him against the blood-stained wall. "Oh Lord, I wish this was me right now." Her face is filled with rage as she demands answers from the injured man whose purple eyes hint at his demonic connection. A tight close-up shows Yahello's enraged expression, her glowing yellow eyes fixed on Gu Yangchun. Her mouth is open, likely shouting, as she presses her demands with palpable fury. Gu Yangchun is seen clutching his chest, his face etched with pain, his purple eyes wide and distressed. A faint sound effect of cough suggests a cough or gasp, indicating his deteriorating condition. A monstrous, glowing heart, covered in intricate demonic symbols, pulses ominously against a dark background, illustrating the curse taking hold within Gu Yangchun. The curse manifests, showing the demonic heart glowing within Gu Yangchun's chest. He clutches his stomach in agony, his face contorted in despair as his life slips away. A tear streams down a character's cheek, reflecting immense sorrow or regret, accompanied by the internal thought "last chance." This likely belongs to Yahello, witnessing Gu Yangchun's final moments. Yahello supports the fading Gu Yangchun, her hand gently touching his face, as he leans heavily against the cold stone wall, his body weakened but his gaze still locked with hers. A close-up view from behind Yahello shows her looking intently at Gu Yangchun, who, despite his injuries and the purple glow in his eyes, returns her stare with a mix of defiance and exhaustion. Yahello's face is stained with tears, her eyes squeezed shut in anguish as she holds the dying Gu Yangchun. The text below implies her desperate plea for him to tell her where the demonic humans are, revealing her deep emotional investment. As Gu Yangchun lets out a painful cough, Yahello continues to hold him, her emotional struggle evident. His internal monologue questions her motivation, wondering if her anxiety stems from the demonic humans she couldn't capture, rather than his personal fate. A flashback or internal image shows Yahello with Zhang Xianyan, her fiancé, who was kidnapped by the demonic humans. This clarifies her desperate motivation and the source of her sorrow, linking her personal loss to her interrogation of Gu Yangchun. Gu Yangchun's internal monologue continues, scoffing at the irony. How ridiculous. The woman who is stronger than anyone in the world is this anxious just because of one man. Yahello's tear-streaked face confirms her raw vulnerability beneath her strength. Gu Yangchun collapses against the wall, his head lolling to the side, his strength completely gone as the curse overtakes him, signaling his imminent death. Yahello tries to intervene with her blade, but a surge of dark, shadowy energy erupts from Gu Yangchun, violently pushing her back and preventing her from saving him as the curse fully manifests. Yahello stands helplessly, her back to the viewer, as Gu Yangchun lies dying at her feet. She recalls an internal thought. A close-up of Yahello's crying face, a tear falling from her eye, expresses deep regret as she thinks, "I regret not having done that so much." The text in the speech bubble emphasizes her despair and self-reproach. Gu Yangchun lies on the ground, his purple eyes still open, as he hears Yahello's thought about the first time we met, but he dismisses it, knowing their perspectives of their first encounter are likely vastly different. The scene shifts dramatically to a bustling market street. A young Gu Yangchun, now reincarnated as a child, walks amidst the crowd, his consciousness from his past life intact. He reflects that their first meeting is probably very different from what Yahello remembers. Gu Yangchun, now a bewildered child in a bustling market, questions his new reality, muttering, "Yeah? Where did things go wrong?" As a young girl, his childhood friend Yahello approaches him with an innocent smile, holding out a potato. The narration shifts to a grim flashback, depicting the adult Gu Yangchun, a fearsome figure shrouded in shadow, standing defiantly on a mound of defeated enemies, reflecting his violent past as a member of the demonic cult. Returning to the present, Yahello is shown consumed by grief, tears streaming down her face as she cradles Gu Yangchun's dying body, her sorrow evident in every line of her expression. Still distraught, Yahello looks up, her face a mask of sorrow, as she processes the tragic death of Gu Yangchun. Yahello gazes down at Gu Yangchun's lifeless body, her form casting a shadow over him, reflecting the profound despair she feels. A close-up focuses on Gu Yangchun's bloody hand, barely touching the blood-stained floor, symbolizing his fading life and the grim end of his first existence. The moment of death is depicted graphically as Gu Yangchun's heart explodes, sending a violent spray of blood from his chest, triggered by the heavenly demon's curse. Yahello recoils in shock, her eyes wide with horror, as a dark, shadowy figure, emanating from Gu Yangchun's shattered body, rises amidst the blood and chaos, signifying the release of the curse and his ultimate demise. An internal thought bubble appears, stating simply, "The curse placed on me." This clarifies the cause of Gu Yangchun's explosive death, emphasizing the inescapable power of the heavenly demon's bind. A single foot smeared with blood stands on a puddle of blood on the stone floor, a grim visual echoing the violence and consequences of past actions. A bloody hand, with fingers curled, lies on the ground, likely belonging to Gu Yangchun, serving as a poignant reminder of his brutal end. A shadowy, ominous figure, with a finger pressed to its lips, delivers the chilling internal monologue, "My heart will explode, killing me." This foreshadows or confirms the curse's fatal mechanism from Gu Yangchun's perspective. Gu Yangchun, now a bewildered child in a bustling market, questions his new reality, muttering, "Yeah? Where did things go wrong?" As a young girl, his childhood friend Yahello approaches him with an innocent smile, holding out a potato. The scene shifts abruptly to a flashback, depicting the adult Gu Yangchun, a fearsome figure shrouded in shadow, standing defiantly on a mound of defeated enemies, reflecting his violent past as a member of the demonic cult. Returning to the present, Yahello is shown consumed by grief, tears streaming down her face and a tearful sniffle sound effect, as she clutches her hand to her chest, her sorrow evident in every line of her expression over Gu Yangchun's death. Yahello looks up, her eyes wide and haunted by the traumatic event, her distressed expression highlighting her struggle to process the tragedy. From Yahello's perspective, the camera looks down at Gu Yangchun's prone, dark-clad body, emphasizing her inability to prevent his demise. A close-up focuses on Gu Yangchun's bloody hand, barely touching the blood-stained floor as he lies dying, a grim testament to the fatal curse. Gu Yangchun's chest violently explodes, blood and dark energy erupting outwards, as the heavenly demon's curse reaches its climax, bringing about his agonizing end. A shadowy, demonic figure, symbolizing the curse's full manifestation or the release of his tormented spirit, rises from Gu Yangchun's fallen body, startling Yahello with a cry of. A close-up on Yahello's terrified eyes, wide with shock and a single tear, reflects the horrific sight she has just witnessed. Gu Yangchun's bloodied finger traces characters on the floor, attempting to convey a final message, but the internal monologue "I'm done" indicates his inability to finish before succumbing to the curse. The heavenly demon's curse reaches its terrifying zenith, violently disfiguring Gu Yangchuan's face and body as his heart bursts, leaving behind a mangled, bloody mess that marks the brutal end of his first life. With a final, agonizing twitch, Gu Yangchuan's body convulses and falls completely still amidst the gore, his tragic first life abruptly extinguished by the curse. Gu Yangchuan's lifeless body lies broken, his chest a bloody, mangled mess, a grim testament to the fatal curse that claimed his first life. In his final moments, Gu Yangchuan experiences a poignant vision, the silhouette of a younger version of himself sitting opposite a woman in red, likely his sister, who then reaches out with a distressed expression, as if trying to grasp something just beyond reach. A close-up reveals the woman in red, Gu Yangchuan's sister, with tears in her eyes but a gentle, sad smile, delivering her last message, to be happy. This is the peaceful release he experiences in his dying breath. The vision continues with a split panel, Gu Yangchuan in his original form with purple eyes, looking pained, while his sister smiles sadly, repeating her heartfelt wish, "Be happy," as he fades away. Back in the present, Yahello kneels beside Gu Yangchuan's lifeless body, her face a mask of grief, clutching his robe as tears stream down her face, unable to accept his tragic end. A final close-up on Gu Yangchuan's original face, his once fierce purple eyes now vacant and bloodied, signifying the absolute finality of his death. The narrative shifts to a melancholic flashback, showing a young girl with long green hair, sitting alone amidst ruins and bones in a desolate, green-tinted landscape, her face stained with tears, evoking a sense of deep sadness and abandonment. A solitary foot, clad in a dark boot, steps into a puddle, approaching the sorrowful girl, hinting at the arrival of someone significant in her bleak situation. The young girl with green hair looks up, her eyes wide with a mixture of surprise and apprehension, as a dark, cloaked figure, presumably the adult Gu Yangchuan, stands before her, casting a long shadow. A close-up on the young girl's face reveals her tearful expression as she utters, "Is it you?" suggesting a desperate hope for recognition or rescue from the figure now standing over her. The girl, still with a sad, tearful smile, says, "I am so sorry," indicating a profound regret or apology related to this past encounter, or perhaps to the circumstances that led to her sorrow. The adult Gu Yangchuan, with his signature purple eyes and a solemn, unreadable expression, looks down at the apologetic girl. His silent gaze, Yahello, is shown in profound anguish, her face contorted in sorrow as tears stream from her closed eyes, depicting her intense grief over Gu Yangchuan's death. Rain mixes with blood and tears on Gu Yangchuan's lifeless face, emphasizing the somber and tragic end of his journey in this life. A stark text panel declares, "Even this life," marking the definitive conclusion of Gu Yangchuan's original existence. Gu Yangchuan lies in the pouring rain, his bloodied hand reaching out, while Yahello's equally bloodied hand touches his. He utters his profound final words, accepting his fate. A close-up on Gu Yangchuan's purple eye, now reflecting the falling rain, portrays a complex mix of resignation and introspection in his last moments. Yahello, her face wet with rain and tears, observes Gu Yangchuan's stoic acceptance of death, noting with a heavy heart, "I see. You're not crying." Gu Yangchuan, in his dying breath, looks towards the sky and asks, "Has the moon risen yet?" receiving Yahello's tearful confirmation, "Yes. It's up there." As rain falls relentlessly, Yahello lies beside Gu Yangchuan, their bloodied hands interlocked, as she softly affirms, "Both are here then," followed by a quiet "good," finding a tragic solace in their shared fate amidst the pouring rain. Gu Yangchuan's bloodied hand falls limp to the ground, rain washing over it, signaling the absolute end of his life. Yahello embraces Gu Yangchuan's mangled, lifeless body in the torrential rain, her own form still and soaked, her grief a profound, silent tableau. The tragic end of Gu Yangchuan's first life is confirmed by a somber text panel, declaring, "Is now Gu Yangchuan of the Shangxi Gu clan." This marks the definitive conclusion of his original existence, and sets the stage for a reflection on his past. His death is further underscored by Yahello, who kneels beside his bloody and mutilated body, her hand on his chest, a stark image of loss and despair. This tragic scene brings to a close the chapter of his original life, making way for the story of how he came to such an end. The narrative begins to explain Gu Yangchuan's past, stating he was born into a renowned clan of the Orthodox faction and lived as an Orthodox martial artist, setting the stage for his dramatic change. This righteous path was short-lived, as the text reveals, before betraying them and turning to the demonic side, explaining his fall from grace and affiliation with the demonic cult. A close-up of the adult Gu Yangchuan's battered and bloody face, with his distinct purple eyes, visually accompanies the narrative of his transformation and descent into the demonic side. The exposition continues, detailing the tragic aftermath. The demonic cult lost the Great Orthodox Demon War, and Jiyu Yangchuan was tortured as a prisoner of war, painting a bleak picture of his fate. His weary, purple eyes, heavily shadowed, reflect the immense suffering and torture he endured as a prisoner of war, conveying his physical and emotional agony. Another close-up of his eyes, showing extreme exhaustion and nearing the end of his tormented life, emphasizes the toll of his capture and torture. His eyes are now nearly closed, the purple glow fading, signifying the final moments of his first life as he succumbs to his injuries and the curse. The scene shifts dramatically to a bustling market street, where a cheerful young Yahello, with her innocent smile and brown eyes, extends a potato towards the recently reincarnated Gu Yangchuan. Young Gu Yangchuan, now a bewildered child with messy dark hair and wide, confused eyes, reacts with surprise to Yahello's unexpected gesture, still processing his reincarnation. An overhead view captures the vibrant market scene, with young Gu Yangchuan and Yahello amidst the crowd. Gu Yangchuan's startled "what?" echoes his confusion as he encounters her. Young Gu Yangchuan, still overwhelmed by his new child form and the bustling market, stares blankly at Yahello, his expression a mix of bewilderment and shock at this unexpected encounter in his reincarnated life. Suddenly, a jarring, distorted image of the adult Gu Yangchuan flashes through his mind, screaming in pain and looking thoroughly tortured. This fleeting, traumatic memory from his past life violently resurfaces as he tries to reconcile his old self with his new reality. Gu Yangchuan's internal monologue replays the moment of his brutal demise, vividly recalling his heart exploding due to the curse, concluding his first life in agony. A poignant memory from his death. Yahello, with her blonde hair, gently holding the dying Gu Yangchuan, his chest mangled, as he leans against the cold stone wall, marking their tragic last encounter in his original life. Young Gu Yangchuan, now in his reincarnated child body, places a hand on his chest, surprised by the normal rhythmic beat of his heart. He realizes, "But my heart is beating normally." As if nothing happened, through 3 panels, Gu Yangchuan examines his small, clean hands, then looks around the market. He concludes, "Besides, judging from my small and clean hands, this must be my younger self. Is this a dream?" Fully realizing his reincarnation, a close-up on young Gu Yangchuan's eye, now glowing red, reveals his inner turmoil as he questions his new reality, thinking, "But then why?" Grappling with the implications of his rebirth, Yahello, child, with her reddish-brown hair and eyes, innocently holds out a potato, offering it to the confused Gu Yangchuan in the bustling market. The offered potato is captured in a close-up, a simple gesture that will soon become the catalyst for a series of events. Gu Yangchuan's hand reaches out quickly, startling Yahello, his adult reflexes possibly surfacing despite his child form. Yahello cries out, "Age!" her eyes wide with surprise as the potato slips from her grasp and falls, a sudden disruption in the market peace. Chaos erupts as a large wooden post or beam dramatically splinters and breaks, the loud quasic sound effect emphasizing the impact and disturbance in the market. Young Gu Yangchuan's eyes glow fiercely red, his child face contorted in an expression of adult rage, as his past martial artist instincts surface, making him think, "How dare something like you shove your way in? You don't know your place." Gu Yangchuan clutches his head in distress, his child mind overwhelmed by the clash of his adult memories and child body, muttering in confusion, "Wasn't that what I said?" As if his internal thoughts had escaped him. Young Gu Yangchuan smirks internally, rationalizing his reincarnation as a vivid dream and acknowledging his lingering regrets. "Seeing as I'm getting to the view this in a dream, it seems I have a lot of regrets left." Young Yahello, looking distressed, holds her potato basket as she questions Gu Yangchun's aggressive rejection. So you don't like potatoes? In a sudden change of demeanor, young Gu Yangchun smiles, accepting a potato and thinking, "Thanks. I'll enjoy it." A stark contrast to his earlier outburst. A close-up shows young Gu Yangchun biting into the potato with childlike eagerness, a loud WH sound effect emphasizing his enthusiastic consumption. Young Gu Yangchun reacts with a comical OUCH and a whackun sound, his face scrunched up as he realizes the potato is hot, his internal monologue questioning, "What the? It's not reality, but it feels so hot." Young Ycla giggles, her face beaming with innocent happiness amidst a backdrop of blooming flowers, clearly delighted that Gu Yangchun enjoyed the potato. An angry man charges towards young Gu Yangchun, who comically sticks out his tongue, still reacting to the hot potato. As chaos from the market incident continues, a concerned adult male, identified as Muyan, looks distressed while holding a sword, seemingly searching for the source of the commotion or a missing person. Muyan, his face etched with worry, calls out, "Moyon. Was it?" Then continues, "I was worried as I thought something had happened," indicating his relief or concern over someone's safety. Despite the ongoing chaos, young Gu Yangchun and Ycla are seen laughing and eating potatoes, oblivious to the distressed Muyan in the background, sharing a moment of innocent joy. Young Gu Yangchun, with his adult martial instincts flaring, shouts, "How dare you!" while Muyan attempts to de-escalate the situation, instructing, "It's fine, give it," likely referring to an object Gu Yangchun is protecting or has taken. The chapter concludes with young Gu Yangchun looking distraught and possibly on the verge of tears, while Muyan kneels beside him, offering comfort, highlighting the clash between Gu Yangchun's mature memories and his childlike emotional state. Gu Yangchun, in his child's body, playfully tries to eat a hot potato, his eyes wide as the heat catches him off guard. Gu Yangchun offers a treat to Ycla, who holds a bowl of potatoes. Muyan, standing behind Gu Yangchun, looks on with a hint of surprise, wondering if his young master is actually giving it to someone else. With a slight blush, Gu Yangchun thinks to himself about receiving a delicious potato and how this is the only thing he can give in return, chuckling at the situation. Ycla's eyes widen in awe as she gasps, exclaiming that it's her first time receiving such a shining gift. Ycla's excitement grows, her eyes sparkling and a little drool escaping as she describes the gift as something that shines brightly and smells so sweet. Gu Yangchun hands the honey biscuit to Ycla, who joyfully receives it in her bowl of potatoes, as Muyan continues to observe the scene. Suddenly, Yahello, Ycla's grandfather, rushes into the scene, his face filled with concern as he calls out to her, drawing the attention of onlookers. Yahello embraces Ycla tightly, relief washing over him as he confirms her safety. Ycla, holding her potatoes and the honey biscuit, happily reassures him. With a worried and slightly exasperated expression, Yahello scolds Ycla, reminding her that he told her not to let go of his hand. Ycla, still beaming, innocently tells her grandfather that everything is fine because she even managed to get the potatoes. Yahello, however, clarifies that the potatoes are not the problem, his concern clearly for her well-being. Yahello anxiously checks on Ycla, asking if she's hurt or caused any accidents. Ycla confidently replies that she's fine. Meanwhile, Gu Yangchun observes the interaction, a thought brewing in his mind. Gu Yangchun's eyes narrow intensely as he recognizes Yahello, his internal monologue confirming that this man is none other than the legendary Sword Supreme, a powerful figure from his past life. Gu Yangchun reflects that he also gave away one potato, perhaps connecting his own previous playful act to the current exchange. Ycla points at Gu Yangchun, innocently telling her grandfather, Yahello, that she gave a potato to him, as Yahello listens with a contemplative expression. Yahello's face subtly contorts in surprise or realization, processing Ycla's words about the exchange with Gu Yangchun. Yahello quickly tries to pull Ycla away from the scene, causing her to ask in confusion where he is dragging her. Yahello bows deeply before Gu Yangchun, humbling himself as he apologizes for his granddaughter's perceived transgression, while Ycla stands beside him. Gu Yangchun, holding a honey biscuit, responds with a calm and confident smile, assuring Wai Haigun that everything is fine. Gu Yangchun's hands gently hold the honey biscuit, presenting it as a gesture of goodwill. With a confident posture and a slight smile, Gu Yangchun explains that he was simply hungry and gratefully enjoyed the potato Wai Siola gave him. Gu Yangchun holds out the honey cookie, stating that it's the only thing he can offer in return, and asks if it would be acceptable to repay her with it. Wai Haigun looks at the honey biscuit offered by Gu Yangchun with a surprised and slightly stunned expression, hesitating in his response. Before Wai Haigun could refuse the too precious gift, Wai Siola enthusiastically interjects, happily proclaiming her acceptance. Her eyes sparkle as she describes the honey biscuit as so sweet and shiny, eagerly reaching out for it. Wai Haigun, taken aback by Wai Siola's bold acceptance and eager to distance himself, quickly bows and, with Wai Siola in tow, makes a hasty retreat, proclaiming they shall not bother the young master any longer. Muyan attempts to intervene, telling Wai Haigun to wait, then offers himself to Gu Yangchun, suggesting that if Gu Yangchun is still angry, he should take it out on Muyan instead, showcasing his loyalty and protectiveness. Gu Yangchun, with a mischievous smile, holds Wai Siola's hand and confidently declares that this, the honey biscuit, is his answer, while Wai Haigun looks on with a contemplative expression. Wai Siola's face lights up with sheer delight, her eyes sparkling like stars and tongue sticking out as she clutches the honey biscuit. Beside her, Wai Haigun watches, seemingly stunned by the situation. Wai Haigun hastily pulls Wai Siola away, much to her confusion, as she tries to offer Gu Yangchun more potatoes, to which he dismisses her with a gentle smile, finding her efforts endearing. Wai Haigun bows deeply, a look of profound respect and perhaps mild exasperation on his face, as he calls out Wai Siola's name, acknowledging the trouble she may have caused. From behind, Wai Haigun bows respectfully to Gu Yangchun, recognizing his status as the young master of a prestigious family, while Wai Siola stands confused by her grandfather's actions. Gu Yangchun and Muyan walk away, leaving the market behind. Muyan subtly glances at Gu Yangchun, hinting at an unspoken concern or observation. Muyan sighs in relief as he gently touches Gu Yangchun's head, asking if he felt uncomfortable, showcasing his loyal and caring nature towards his young master after the unusual encounter. Gu Yangchun's thoughts recall that Wai Haigun was the esteemed leader of the Murim alliance until recently, highlighting his significant past status. Gu Yangchun's father, the stern clan head, sits imperiously on his throne, flanked by two figures, his presence exuding power and authority in the grand hall decorated with dragon motifs. A close-up reveals the stern, unyielding face of Gu Yangchun's father, the clan head, whose authoritative demeanor foreshadows the powerful figures and legends Gu Yangchun will soon encounter. This imposing presence of the clan head shifts the focus to the legendary figures of Murim, emphasizing the power dynamics of this world and leading directly into the discussion of those, like Wai Haigun, who were hailed as the strongest. The legends speak of their might, individuals who spread fear and terror amongst the unorthodox members of Murim, solidifying their reputation as unparalleled forces. Among these formidable figures stands Wai Haigun, the Sword Supreme, his powerful presence illuminated by an array of gleaming blades, a testament to his legendary status and skill. Gu Yangchun, still grappling with his memories, wonders to himself what the formidable Sword Supreme, Wai Haigun, is doing in such an ordinary place as the marketplace. Gu Yangchun's thoughts drift to the painful memory of his past life's death, realizing that even if his current state is a dream, he was almost killed, hinting at his previous demise in Wai Siola's arms. His thoughts then shift to the innocent Wai Siola, smiling brightly and waving, an image of pure joy that contrasts with his own complex internal struggles. Gu Yangchun lets out a sigh, a mix of exasperation and contemplation, as he processes the strange reality of his reincarnation and the familiar faces he encounters. Gu Yangchun and Muyan walk away from the bustling market, leaving the recent encounter behind as they head towards their next destination. Gu Yangchun feels a sense of closure, believing he no longer has any regrets, and that it is time for him to wake up from what he still perceives as a vivid dream. Upon arriving at a grand, traditional building, Muyan announces their arrival. Gu Yangchun, however, looks troubled, realizing that he hasn't woken up, and his dream continues. A worried Gu Yangchun questions why his dream isn't ending, pondering that if it were truly a dream, he should have already awakened by now. The terrifying realization dawns on Gu Yangchun: this is no dream. He questions if his rebirth is inextricably linked to the heavenly demon's curse, envisioning a sinister, shadowy figure on a dark throne engulfed in malevolent purple energy. A chilling close-up reveals the shadowy figure, a foreboding entity likely connected to the heavenly demon, smiling ominously with a finger pressed to their lips, hinting at a profound and dark secret, the true nature of Gu Yangchuan's new reality. The narration emphasizes the influence and terror spread by powerful individuals amongst the unorthodox members of Murim, highlighting their dominance. A grand depiction of Wai Hyegun, the legendary sword supreme, surrounded by a multitude of glowing swords, showcasing his immense power and the reverence he commands. Gu Yangchun observes Wai Hyegun from behind, internally questioning what the formidable sword supreme is doing in such an unexpected place, his mind still processing the encounter. A poignant memory or vision of Gu Yangchun reaches out, while a sad Wai Seola looks on. Gu Yangchun laments that even if this is a dream, he was almost killed, recalling the trauma of his past life. A vibrant image of Wai Seola, smiling warmly and waving, highlights her innocence and the pleasant memory she represents for Gu Yangchun amidst his internal turmoil. Gu Yangchun lets out a thoughtful sigh, his expression reflecting a mix of confusion and resignation as he grapples with the surreal reality of his new existence. Gu Yangchun and Muyan walk through a bustling street, now leaving the marketplace behind, signifying a transition from their recent encounter. Gu Yangchun muses that he has no more regrets and believes it is time to wake up, still perceiving his current reality as an elaborate dream. Gu Yangchun stands with Muyan before a grand, traditional building. Muyan announces their arrival, but Gu Yangchun looks troubled, an ellipsis marking his growing realization that this is no dream. Gu Yangchun, growing frantic, questions why the dream isn't ending, arguing that if it truly were a dream, he would have woken up by now, indicating his deep confusion and the disturbing nature of his persistent reincarnation. As the chilling reality sinks in that this is no dream, Gu Yangchun wonders if his rebirth is inextricably linked to the heavenly demon's curse. A shadowy figure on a dark, ominous throne, wreathed in sinister purple energy, epitomizes this terrifying possibility. A sinister close-up reveals the shadowy figure, likely the heavenly demon, with a chilling smile and a finger pressed to their lips, a silent, menacing gesture confirming the dark, inescapable connection to Gu Yangchuan's perplexing fate. This ominous presence foreshadows the direct confrontation he is about to face. Gu Yangchun, with a fierce and determined expression, stands amidst a fiery aura, his eyes glowing red, symbolizing a surge of power or an inner resolve to face the unfolding challenges. Gu Yanxiu, Gu Yangchun's second sister, confronts him with a disdainful smile, accusing him of planning new mischief and warning him to cease his actions immediately. A close-up reveals the depth of Gu Yanxiu's disdain and anger, her face contorted into a sneer, eyes filled with contempt as she glowers at Gu Yangchun. Gu Yanxiu continues her aggressive tirade, threatening Gu Yangchun if he persists in his scoundrel behavior, but he calmly interjects with a raised hand, urging her to wait. Gu Yangchun reveals the true reason for his interruption, the imminent arrival of the clan head, a figure of immense authority and power. A close-up on the powerful eye of a horse foreshadows the dramatic entrance of the clan head, emphasizing the gravity of his arrival. The clan head, Gu Yangchun's father, makes a powerful and dramatic entrance on horseback, riding in with speed and authority, his presence commanding attention. A close-up of Gu Yangchun's father, the clan head, reveals his stern and authoritative face, complete with a scar and a neatly trimmed beard, reflecting his imposing nature. Gu Yangchun and other family members bow in deep reverence as the clan head arrives, a clear demonstration of his supreme authority within the clan. The clan head observes the scene with a thoughtful expression, a subtle smirk playing on his lips, as he takes in the unfolding family drama, leaving his thoughts unsaid. Under the watchful eyes of the newly arrived clan head, Gu Yangchun, with a downcast and troubled expression, begrudgingly accepts his supposed fault, stating he will apologize to his father later for the family drama. Gu Yanxiu is visibly taken aback, her shock quickly turning to fury at Gu Yangchun's unexpected and seemingly out-of-character submission, while Muyan also registers surprise at the turn of events. Gu Yangchun's father, the clan head, casts a sharp, observant glance, his stern expression reflecting a profound sense of authority and scrutiny. The clan head, still mounted on his horse, questions a kneeling servant about the readiness of the sword units. The servant confirms the first unit is resting and the fourth unit is awaiting orders, indicating the clan head's immediate focus on military matters. With an unwavering gaze, the clan head commands the fourth sword unit to prepare and report to him, asserting his absolute authority, as various clan members bow in submission. Gu Yangchuan's internal monologue reveals his torment. He doesn't know if his current life is a dream or reality, but his father's gaze, heavy with expectation and judgment, feels as burdensome as it ever was. The clan head dismounts from his horse, his boots thudding firmly on the ground, signaling a shift in the immediate power dynamic and drawing attention to his presence. Gu Yangchuan's father, seen from behind, issues a chillingly direct command. Gu Yangchun is to come to the patriarch room alone, hinting at a private and possibly severe confrontation. Gu Yangchun stands utterly distraught, his eyes wide with fear, while Gu Yanxiu glares at him with malicious satisfaction, and Muyan looks on with a bewildered expression, all stunned by the clan head's summons. Gu Yanxiu approaches Gu Yangchun with a sarcastic smile, asking if he needs any digestive pills, a thinly veiled jab at his evident anxiety and discomfort. The scene transitions to a peaceful night, illuminated by a full moon, with traditional buildings bathed in soft light, signifying a passage of time and setting a calm backdrop before new tensions unfold. Inside a grand dining hall, richly adorned and filled with numerous tables laden with traditional cuisine, Gu Yangchun sits alone at one table, dwarfed by the opulence and formality of the family meal. A close-up of the meticulously prepared dishes, including a bowl of steaming rice, emphasizes the rich yet unwelcoming ambience of the family dinner, hinting at the stifling atmosphere Gu Yangchun is about to endure. Gu Yangchun picks at his food, his expression heavy with dread as he realizes that, despite his new reality, the oppressive and uncomfortable atmosphere of family meals remains exactly as it always was. Gu Yangchun endures the tense meal, his thoughts consumed by discomfort, unable to discern if he's eating properly amidst the oppressive atmosphere. Gu Yangchun laments the discomfort of being singled out by his father and silently wishes for someone to alleviate the suffocating mealtime atmosphere, just as his father addresses him as second child. Gu Yangchun's father, the clan head, addresses him with a subtle, unreadable smile, his expression hinting at a deeper meaning behind his words. The clan head, holding a teacup, directly questions Gu Yangchun about his alleged achievement in martial arts, his gaze unwavering. Gu Yanxiu, beaming with pride, eagerly reports her recent martial arts enlightenment and her advancement to a 3-star level a few days prior. The clan head commends Gu Yanxiu for her rapid advancement and encourages her continued devotion, while Gu Yangchun remains in the background, a silent observer of his sister's success. Gu Yanxiu, radiating satisfaction, bows respectfully to her father, who instructs her to resume her meal, as Gu Yangchun watches her with a complex expression. Gu Yangchun, observing Gu Yanxiu, privately notes that she can indeed smile and that she looks significantly better when doing so, before his thought is abruptly cut off. A close-up reveals Gu Yanxiu's sudden shift to a furious expression, her eyes filled with anger, possibly having caught Gu Yangchun's gaze or sensing his thoughts. Gu Yangchun jumps in surprise, his chopsticks flailing, startled by the abrupt change in atmosphere or Gu Yanxiu's sudden hostility. Gu Yangchun's father directly questions him about his excursion to the streets, to which Gu Yangchun hesitantly replies that he had brief business outside. The clan head responds with a non-committal his thoughtful expression leaving Gu Yangchun in an uncomfortable state of uncertainty, as the weight of his father's scrutiny continues. Gu Yangchun shifts uncomfortably at the dining table, his internal monologue confirming his extreme discomfort, feeling as if he can barely distinguish between eating and breathing due to the oppressive atmosphere. Gu Yangchun's father, the clan head, stands to leave the meal, instructing everyone else to continue eating. Gu Yangchun, looking up, speculates that his father seemed to have more to say, creating an air of anticipation. Gu Yangchun's thoughts suggest he expects his father to discuss the matter later, after the meal, but he is interrupted by a female servant approaching him. A female servant discreetly whispers to Gu Yangchun, informing him that the clan head wishes for him to rest today and report to his room tomorrow, surprising Gu Yangchun with a sudden realization. Gu Yangchun is seen looking out his window into the night, the peaceful scene contrasting with his internal turmoil as he contemplates the day's events. Sitting in his room, Gu Yangchun realizes that since he hasn't woken up, this isn't a dream. He ponders if this inexplicable phenomenon is the regression he has only ever heard about. A close-up of Gu Yangchuan's hand, clenched tightly into a fist, reveals prominent veins, symbolizing his surging emotions and newfound resolve. His hand remains clenched, a testament to the intense determination building within him as he processes his extraordinary situation. A single word, maybe, fills the panel, reflecting Gu Yangchuan's internal deliberation as he considers the implications of his regression. Gu Yangchuan's thoughts turn to a daring possibility. His regression means he might be able to preemptively kill the heavenly demon. Gu Yangchun quickly dismisses the exhilarating but absurd thought, acknowledging the insurmountable power of the heavenly demon, whom he vividly visualizes as a shadowy figure dominating a fiery, ominous landscape. He then reflects on the heavenly demon's overwhelming might, recalling how the demon single-handedly vanquished all three supremes, once considered invincible, a crushing memory that also brings to mind his own tormented past as a damned demonic human under the demon's cruel sway. Gu Yangchun recalls the terrifying image of the colossal heavenly demon, a shadowy figure with glowing pink hair, towering over a burning, ruined city, a vivid memory of destruction and despair. He painfully remembers his past, having lived underneath the heavenly demon's shadow, forced into servitude just to survive. Gu Yangchun lies broken and defeated amidst shattered debris, a grim visual representation of his profound regrets and the anguish he carried from his previous life. A symbolic image shows two hands gently cupping a glowing, red, heart-like object, representing the fragile core of his being or the pain of his past. The hands dramatically pull apart, tearing the luminous red object as a blood-like fluid drips, vividly depicting the shattering of his heart and the end of his previous life. Back in his room, Gu Yangchun sits quietly, deep in contemplation, processing the traumatic memories of his past and the new reality of his reincarnation. A close-up reveals Gu Yangchuan's eyes glowing red, a fiery background hinting at a powerful inner resolve that has awakened within him. Gu Yangchun hums thoughtfully, seemingly in the midst of a profound internal deliberation, his mind working through complex emotions and plans. He performs a martial arts move, channeling internal energy, with purple lightning and red glows surrounding him, culminating in a fiery orb at his feet, as he attempts to gauge his current strength. Gu Yangchun lets out a self-deprecating laugh, his expression a mixture of amusement and disappointment at the meager amount of internal energy he possesses in his child's body. He muses on his current predicament, realizing that despite thoroughly searching his body, the amount of internal energy he found is surprisingly minimal. Gu Yangchun concludes the chapter by reflecting on the pathetic state of his inner energy, which starkly highlights the incredible progress of his sister, Gu Yanxiu, who is only a year older but already a 3-star practitioner, setting up a new challenge for him. Gu Yangchun closes his eyes deep in thought. Despite everything, he remains determined. A glowing orb of energy pulsates within what appears to be a human body, surrounded by intricate red veins, hinting at the internal energy he is trying to cultivate. The name of the technique he seeks to master appears: the Gu Flame Will Art. Gu Yangchun meditates, channeling the fiery red energy through his body. He thinks about cultivating it slowly, as if blooming a flower. A powerful vision of a long-haired Gu Yangchun in red robes, engulfed in flames, appears. This is the future he envisions, where he will be able to emit flaming internal energy. Another powerful figure, with spiky red hair and a beard wreathed in fire, further illustrates the immense power that the Gu Flame Will Art can bestow. Waya, Gu Yangchun's sister, smiles with a hint of malice, while Gu Yangchun stands behind her with a serious expression, seemingly aware of her disdain. Gu Yangchun looks down, sweat beading on his face. He resolves to gather internal energy as quickly as he can and polish it until he becomes a 2-star practitioner. He holds his hands together, a red glow emanating from them. He reflects that to live a smooth life, unlike his past, he shouldn't be borrowing the power of demonic humans. Gu Yangchun meditates, his body outlined by intricate red energy patterns and a glowing core. He must increase his own power instead. With fervent determination, Gu Yangchun sits, enveloped in fiery red energy, his hands clasped as he pushes himself, nearing a breakthrough. His face contorted in a grimace of pain and intense focus, Gu Yangchun grinds his teeth, showing the immense struggle and dedication as his cultivation reaches its peak. Gu Yangchun continues his intense cultivation, an orb of red energy pulsing in his hands as he focuses intently on the Gu Flame Wheel Art. Completely exhausted, Gu Yangchun collapses onto the floor, his body drenched in sweat after the grueling training. He pants heavily, every breath a struggle as beads of sweat run down his face, a testament to the sheer effort he's put in. A sinister, wide grin with sharp teeth appears, possibly a glimpse into his past as a damned demonic human, or the internal darkness he's fighting against. Gu Yangchun's face is contorted in a grimace, his eyes glowing red, as he struggles with the aftermath of his intense cultivation, perhaps battling inner demons or the echoes of his past. A vibrant fiery orb spins amidst swirling flames, signifying a significant breakthrough in his cultivation. He exclaims, "I've gotten some results!" His hand is clenched, surrounded by crackling energy, as he proudly declares, "It's an early stage, but I've become a 2-star. Gu Yangchun lies exhausted but content, looking up as he considers his progress. He's advancing, step by step, in a way that isn't slow. The morning sun rises over a beautiful traditional village nestled amongst misty mountains, marking the passage of time after Gu Yangchun's intense night of training. A small sparrow chirps cheerfully on a branch, its song filling the serene morning air, a stark contrast to Gu Yangchun's internal struggle. Gu Yangchun's face is still etched with fatigue, beads of sweat on his forehead, as the effects of his strenuous training linger, reminding him of the intense night he just endured. Sprawled on the floor, he muses over the physical toll, questioning, "How does it make sense that my whole body aches just from training that much?" Despite his 2-star achievement, the pain serves as a harsh reminder of his arduous path ahead. From behind, Gu Yangchun gazes out the window, reflecting on his arduous journey. He acknowledges it's his fault for not training sooner, and that a long path lies ahead. He reaches for the door, preparing himself mentally, knowing he must go to the clan head's room in the afternoon. As Gu Yangchun opens the door, he is met by Waya, his younger sister, who playfully greets him. Waya, with a cheerful smile and rosy cheeks, reaches out to Gu Yangchun, uttering a simple, "Hi again." A dramatic title card, adorned with flames, showcases the story's title in Korean. Against the backdrop of a starlit night, an unseen voice asks, "What are you staring at?" A man with a top knot looks up in the dark, questioning a strange phenomenon in the sky, asking, "Hey, aren't you going home?" before realizing the object is not a star, and wondering if it was there before. The mysterious object in the sky reveals itself to be a fractured, glowing entity with a menacing red eye at its core, seemingly wriggling with dark energy. The man gazes up, his face etched with shock and fear, as he utters a stunned, what the? A powerful, explosive force shatters chains, implying a struggle against imprisonment, or a surge of destructive power. A chilling flashback begins, heralded by the ominous words, "One day." As a small, distant fiery glow appears against the dark, starlit background, foreshadowing a cataclysmic event. This vision plunges into the grim reality of a past catastrophe. Monstrous, demonic creatures attack and devour humans, painting a scene of chaos and despair, strongly hinting at the era of demonic humans and the very gates of the demon realm that would soon follow. A fractured, glowing diamond shape with pulsating purple and pink energy against the dark background, representing the mysterious phenomenon that preceded the demonic invasion. The text explains the ominous phenomenon was also known as the gates of the demon realm, while beneath, a serene landscape sets the stage for the creation of the specialized groups. Each sect worked to raise the only group that could fight against the monsters. A grizzled warrior with an eye patch, smoking a pipe and holding a sword, sits amidst fallen foes. He embodies the strength of these elite fighters, also known as sword units. 5 formidable figures, members of the sword units, stand ready for battle, their dark red robes billowing. Leading them is Gu Weibai, a powerful female warrior with long dark hair, holding her sword with an air of authority. A mischievous Waya, holding a sword menacingly over a terrified Gu Yangchun, highlights their complex relationship and the potential for a playful yet sharp rivalry. Gu Yangchun is dragged away, looking visibly distressed, by 2 other individuals in red robes, possibly members of the sword units, hinting at his tumultuous journey ahead. A close-up reveals Gu Yangchun's wide-eyed, terrified expression as he is forcibly taken away, emphasizing his fear and vulnerability. A more mature Waisiola, with tears in her eyes, gazes down at a prone Gu Yangchun, her expression a mix of sadness and concern, suggesting a moment of shared hardship or a poignant memory. Waisiola's determined amber eyes and serious expression hint at a resolution or a difficult decision made in the face of adversity. Returning to the present, Waia with her innocent, reaching gesture and cheerful smile, contrasts sharply with the somber flashback, inviting Gu Yangchun to play. Returning to the present, Waia kneels, looking up expectantly at Gu Yangchun, who stands in the doorway, inviting him to play, echoing their previous playful encounters. Gu Yangchun, still feeling the effects of his intense training, makes an excuse about sleeping late, and attempts to leave. Waia reacts with exasperation at his reluctance, showcasing their dynamic. As Gu Yangchun tries to leave, Waia grabs onto his red robe with a desperate cry of, "Wait!" preventing his escape. Waia continues to cling to Gu Yangchun's robe, pulling him back, while he looks over his shoulder with an annoyed expression, still attempting to distance himself. Waia smiles sweetly, her cheeks flushed, as she formally introduces herself. "Nice to meet you. From today onwards I'm..." A sudden intervention as hands reach out in a grabbing motion, with a distinct thump sound, interrupting Waia's introduction and hinting at an unexpected turn of events. An older man with white hair and a beard, identified as Wai Mun, stands between a surprised Gu Yangchun and Waia, creating an awkward tension. Gu Yangchun's face shows clear confusion as he asks, "Eh? What did he say?" indicating he's bewildered by Wai Mun's sudden appearance and actions. Wai Mun sternly instructs Waia to apologize to him now, causing a remorseful Waia to mumble, "I am sorry." Gu Yangchun, still utterly lost, exclaims, "Huh? What's going on?" Gu Yangchun watches on, still deeply confused by the unfolding scene, as Wai Mun, Wai Haigun, stands beside him, his presence radiating an aura of authority. Wai Mun, accompanied by Waia, bows respectfully to Gu Yangchun. He introduces himself. "My name is Wai Mun," and pledges his unwavering loyalty and service. "I will be serving you from here on out, in gratitude of your clan head. You may not be satisfied with the servitude of a weak old man, but I will give it my all." Gu Yangchun stares in disbelief, questioning the identity of his new servant. "Wai Mun, not Wai Haigun." Waia, revealing her full name as Waisiala, politely states, I'm Waisiala," and explains her new role. "I'll be assisting my grandfather from now on." She concludes with a respectful, "It's nice to meet you," sealing the surprising arrangement. Gu Yangchun's eyes widen in utter astonishment, completely bewildered by this unexpected turn of events. He stutters, "Serve? Who? What? Me?" As the shocking reality of having Wai Mun and Waisiala as his personal attendants fully sinks in, Gu Yangchun, with a thoughtful and slightly annoyed expression, contemplates the situation. He realizes that if these are indeed orders from the clan head, then his own father must have personally sanctioned them. On a raised platform, Gu Yangchun tentatively greets Wai Mun. "And nice to meet you." He then asks for a more casual address. "By any chance, could you refer to me as Yangchun, instead of calling me young master?" Wai Mun, ever respectful, replies, "I understand, young master." Internally, Gu Yangchun laments, "I feel like I'm already real F***ked from the start of this life." A straw broom diligently sweeps the ground, signifying Wai Mun humbly fulfilling his duties as a servant. Gu Yangchun sits on the floor, observing his new surroundings with a contemplative and slightly bored expression. Wai Mun, with his back to the viewer, continues to sweep the courtyard with quiet diligence, embodying his commitment to his new role. A close-up of Wai Mun reveals his eyes are gently closed, and a subtle, knowing smile plays on his lips as he continues his work, suggesting a deeper understanding or contentment. Gu Yangchun looks on, his expression a mix of annoyance and confusion, as he questions the unusual situation. "Is this right? Really?" With a more serious and determined expression, Gu Yangchun looks down, pondering something of greater importance, a bead of sweat on his forehead indicating internal thought. More importantly, a precarious stack of folded clothes teeters and sways, threatening to topple over at any moment. Waia struggles under the weight of a basket piled high with clothes, her face etched with effort, while two other maids behind her exchange mischievous smiles. Waia's eyes widen in panic as the towering stack of clothes she's carrying begins to collapse around her, much to the amusement of the two smiling maids in the background. Amidst the cascade of falling clothes, Waya looks up with a terrified expression as a foot steps into view, indicating someone's sudden appearance or intervention. Waya lays on the ground amidst scattered clothes, having stumbled. A large foot looms over her, belonging to someone who has stepped in front of her. Waya lies sprawled on the ground, surrounded by the contents of her overturned basket. Gu Yangchun calmly observes from a raised platform, while Wai Mun and two other maids look on, one with concern and the other seemingly unfazed. Waya remains on the floor, the scattered laundry beside her, as Wai Mun observes her with a somber expression, and Gu Yangchun continues to watch contemplatively from above. A sniffle emanates from Waya, highlighting her distress as she remains on the ground after her fall, the scene unchanged around her. Gu Yangchun mentally questions Waya's apparent ineptitude, wondering, how can she be so bad at chores? As Gu Yangchun observes, Waya is being comforted by the two other maids. One assures her, that's alright, while the other adds, everyone makes mistakes. Waya is still visibly upset. Gu Yangchun continues his internal monologue, pondering the contradiction. She should possess martial art talent within her. How is it possible for her to be so clumsy? This highlights the discrepancy between her innate ability and her current struggle. Gu Yangchun, with a sigh, turns to walk away from the scene, muttering, ugh, my head, a maid calls out. Seola? Where are you going? As Waya dashes off, presumably to follow Gu Yangchun. Gu Yangchun looks at Waya, now wearing a straw hat, and asks, Surprised by her appearance and persistence, Gu Yangchun questions Waya, who stubbornly insists, I was told to follow you wherever you go. When asked why she didn't finish her chores, Waya, still wearing her straw hat, desperately cries out, Grandpa! For help. Gu Yangchun, however, simply sighs. Oh. All right. Resigned to his fate, while Wai Mun continues sweeping in the background, seemingly oblivious to her plea, as if solidifying her new role. Waya, still wearing her hat, looks determined. In the background, two maids encouragingly tell her, Seola! Hang in there! You're the only one who can handle him! Gu Yangchun, however, cynically muses, I think they just dumped that role to her because they didn't want to deal with me. Gu Yangchun stands in a doorway, contemplating his new situation. He questions the suitability of his new servant, wondering, I'm still the son of a good clan. Is it okay for my personal servant to be decided so haphazardly? In a more intimate setting, Gu Yangchun acknowledges Waya, saying, Well, Wai Seola is fine, but then expresses his concern about her grandfather. But the Sword Supreme is too much pressure. Waya, her face beaming with pride and satisfaction, exclaims, All done! Having successfully completed her task, a close-up reveals a perfectly tied sash around Gu Yangchun's waist, indicating his meticulous preparation for his upcoming meeting. As Gu Yangchun walks with Waya, he ponders the true identities of his new servants, questioning, Does father even know of their identity? Or did he just not care because too many servants quit? Waya reacts with a surprised, Gu Yangchun is seen putting on his boots, preparing to meet his father, stating, Well, he told me to come to his room today, so I'll find out when I get there. Gu Yangchun and Waya ascend a grand staircase, with Wai Mun diligently sweeping in the background. Gu Yangchun's mind still races with questions. Just what is going on right now? Waya, running after Gu Yangchun, calls out frantically, Young master! Wait! Her expression conveying urgency. Gu Yangchun turns to Waya with an exasperated look, asking, Where do you think you're going? Stay here and get the hang of things first. Waya, her eyes welling up with tears, sniffling softly, quietly agrees. Okay. Her disappointment evident as she resigns herself to her duties. Meanwhile, Wai Mun, observing the scene silently from a distance, maintains a serious expression, implying his awareness and approval of Waya's assigned task and her newfound obedience. Gu Yangchun and Waya stand in silent contemplation, a subtle tension hanging in the air after their previous exchange. Gu Yangchun closes the door with a creak, curtly instructing Waya, Anyways, finish learning how to do your job. Waya watches the closed door, her expression unreadable, a silent ellipsis hanging in the air. Gu Yangchun cautiously peeks out from the partially open door, calling out a tentative, Hey! A close-up reveals Gu Yangchuan's worried eyes peeking through the narrow gap in the door. The door slams shut abruptly with a resounding, emphasizing Gu Yangchuan's finality. Waya, surrounded by Wai Mun and the other maids, beams with excitement, exclaiming, "Ah! Meet!" With hearts and flowers symbolizing her joy, seemingly unfazed by Gu Yangchuan's dismissal. Wai Mun observes Waya with a gentle smile, silently approving of her unexpected enthusiasm. Gu Yangchun looks up at the sunny sky, reflecting on Waya's unwavering cheerfulness, thinking, "Ah, that's too scary." Gu Yangchun stands before an ornate door, deep in thought about his upcoming meeting. He muses, "He's personally talked like this. What should I even say?" A worried Gu Yangchun, still pondering his father's true intentions, mentally rehearses his questions. "After I hear what he has to say, I'll just ask him why Seola and why Hai Gun are in my quarters." Before he can gather his thoughts, his father, the imposing clan head, suddenly appears in front of him, holding a small wooden box. Gu Yangchun, completely startled, stumbles back with a cry of, "Oh crap! You surprised me!" Gu Yangchun sits opposite his father, the clan head, at a low table, mortified by his earlier outburst. He inwardly chastises himself. Saying crap in front of the clan head? I should have just died back there. Gu Yangchun tries to recover with an awkward smile as his father calmly asks, "Did you see the new servants?" Gu Yangchun responds, "Yes. I just greeted them this morning." A delicious bamboo steamer filled with dumplings rests on the table. Gu Yangchun's internal monologue expresses his conflicted thoughts. "I'm grateful you appointed me a servant for my convenience, but I'm just wondering." Gu Yangchun's father sips his drink thoughtfully, his expression unreadable, as he processes Gu Yangchun's unspoken question. Gu Yangchun continues his internal debate, wondering about his father's intentions. "Is there something I'm missing? Or is there a reason you sent me these two special servants?" A close-up of Gu Yangchun's sweating face reveals his anxiety, as he anxiously awaits his father's reply. The clan head states simply, "So father sent them as servants despite knowing everything." This reveals his full awareness of Wai Mun and Waya's true nature or background. Gu Yangchun's father dismisses his son's concerns about the servants, advising him, "Don't worry about minor problems like these. Prepare to head for the Unified Dragon Assembly tomorrow." Gu Yangchun meekly replies, "Yes. I will do that." Gu Yangchun's eyes widen in confusion as he asks, "The Unified Dragon Assembly? What was that again?" A close-up of Gu Yangchun's eye, filled with horror and a single tear, signifies a sudden and terrifying realization. The words, "The Unified Dragon Assembly," are dramatically displayed, emphasizing the shocking and overwhelming nature of Gu Yangchun's revelation. Gu Yangchun's face contorts in an expression of pure dread and terror, as the full, horrifying implications of the Unified Dragon Assembly dawn on him. Gu Yangchun appears worried, looking up with a hint of stress on his face. In the courtyard, Wai Seola, child, approaches Gu Yangchun and asks if he truly detests going to the Unified Dragon Assembly so much. Gu Yangchun, with a reluctant expression, confirms his dislike. Gu Yangchun and Wai Seola are part of a larger procession, moving through a bustling street, likely on their way to the Unified Dragon Assembly, with various people and a loaded cart around them. The scene transitions to a beautiful, vibrant landscape, split into two distinct halves. One side shows a golden field of blooming daffodils teeming with butterflies, while the other side features a serene mountain's cape under a soft, warm sky, with dragonflies and falling autumn leaves, creating a sense of natural wonder and a change of scenery. A young man, with short, spiky black hair and bright green eyes, looks startled or shocked. The young man, looking agitated, holds a scroll and is in conversation with Gu Yangchun. The young man seems upset about something the clan head might do. The young man with spiky black hair appears very agitated, gesturing wildly, while Gu Yangchun stands by, observing him calmly. Other people are visible in the background of the courtyard. A close-up reveals the young man's furious expression, his teeth gritted in anger and frustration as he curses, realizing he was misled or tricked. The scene shifts to a flashback, showing a much younger version of the spiky-haired young man, crying in fear, as a menacing, larger figure with glowing red eyes grabs his head. Narrating text speaks of his past belief in acting with decorum and his responsibility for the clan's honor, as the only son. In the flashback, the young boy struggles against the grasp of the imposing adult figure, who he considers someone he should be grateful to, but is also a busy man. The boy desperately cries out to be let go. The narration continues in thought bubbles, revealing how the stern scoldings and punishments from that older figure only made the young boy wish to avoid him even more. Returning to the present, the spiky-haired young man looks pensive and slightly defeated, reflecting on his past. He muses that despite all the lessons, he somehow still ended up a loser, noting the irony that even his own father was never so attentive. A luxurious carriage stands ready, with a thought bubble indicating that Gu Yangchun is talking to himself, continuing his inner monologue from earlier. In the courtyard, Gu Yangchun, spiky-haired, stands alongside a senior retainer, long-haired. The retainer comments on how incredibly pretty Waisila is, predicting she'll break many hearts when she grows up, while Gu Yangchun looks on, with Waisila and other young women in the background. Gu Yangchun calls out to one of the young women, Manhwa, asking if she's ready. Manhwa, along with two other young women including Waisila, apologizes and explains that they were taking care of Waisila. Gu Yangchun's face shows concern as he asks if Waisila has caused trouble again, suggesting her mischievous or clumsy nature is well known. Waisila and two other young women look on with a mix of concern and slight apprehension, perhaps in response to Gu Yangchun's question about trouble. Waisila and her two companions stand together. Waisila smiles sweetly, appearing cheerful and perhaps enjoying the situation, despite being linked to causing trouble. Gu Yangchun's face is flushed with surprise or embarrassment, a pink background emphasizing his flustered state. Gu Yangchun's blush deepens, and he averts his gaze, clearly flustered by something he has seen or heard. Waisila smiles charmingly and looks up, with delicate flowers framing her, suggesting her innocent beauty is the cause of Gu Yangchun's flustered reaction. Waisila calls out to a startled Gu Yangchun, addressing him as "Young Master!" solidifying his identity as the protagonist. Waisila, with a beaming smile and a slight blush, proudly proclaims that everyone says she's really pretty, highlighting her innocent confidence. Gu Yangchun, still visibly flustered, tries to play it cool, muttering a dismissive "so what?" but his blush and inner thoughts betray him, as he reluctantly admits to himself, she really is pretty. This quiet admission sets the stage for his continued internal struggles and reflections. The luxurious carriage waits, as Gu Yangchun's internal monologue continues, expressing his inner thoughts and reflections. In the courtyard, Gu Yangchun stands with Mian. Mian, looking at Waisila and other female servants, comments on Waisila's remarkable beauty, predicting she will break many hearts when she grows up. Gu Yangchun calls out to Manhwa, one of the female servants, asking if she is ready. Manhwa, alongside Waisila and another servant, apologizes, explaining they were busy taking care of Waisila. Gu Yangchun looks irritated as he asks if Waisila caused trouble again, implying a frequent occurrence of her getting into mischief. Waisila and two other female servants react with surprise and slight concern, perhaps at Gu Yangchun's pointed question. Waisila, with a joyful expression, rides in the moving carriage, exclaiming with excitement about how cool and super fast it is. Inside the carriage, Mian asks Waisila if it's her first time riding in one. Waisila, beaming with delight, admits it is, humorously adding that she thought horses were only for eating, but is amazed they can run so fast. Mian rides a horse beside the carriage. Gu Yangchun, looking out the window, asks Mian where the Unified Dragon Assembly is held. Mian replies it's at the Heavenly Exchange, a famous shopping district, leading Gu Yangchun to reflect that elderly must have put much effort into arranging it. Mian suggests Gu Yangchun take a nap since the journey will be 4 hours. Gu Yangchun readily agrees, explaining he couldn't sleep last night due to training. Gu Yangchun leans out of the carriage, trying to get some sleep. Meanwhile, Waisila, oblivious to his need for rest, continues to talk loudly about horse meat, much to his annoyance. Exasperated, Gu Yangchun shoves a piece of food into Waisila's mouth, sternly telling her to shut up and eat, silencing her mid-sentence about the taste of horse meat. Waisila is shown happily munching on the food Gu Yangchun gave her, seemingly content and quiet for now, while Gu Yangchun reclines on the carriage floor. Gu Yangchun's internal monologue reveals his relief that it's finally quiet, and he decides to take a much-needed nap. A close-up shot of Gu Yangchun's eye, as he closes it, succumbing to sleep after the long journey and the previous commotion. Yahello peeks out from the darkness, looking hungry and muttering, "Ugh! No more cookies!" indicating her persistent craving for food. Still peeking from the shadows, Yahello looks around curiously as a thought bubble asks if she informed the young master of their arrival, suggesting she might have forgotten her duty. Gu Yangchun wakes up with a startled exclamation. "We're here?" Realizing he slept through the entire journey, still sitting tied up by Yahello who is kneeling beside him. Gu Yangchun peeks out from the carriage door, looking disoriented but curious about their arrival location. A bustling marketplace, the Heavenly Exchange, is revealed, filled with people, stalls, and vibrant lanterns, marking their arrival at the Unified Dragon Assembly. Gu Yangchun, Mian, and Yahello are seen from behind, stepping out of the carriage. Gu Yangchun stretches and observes the crowded, festive atmosphere, realizing the magnitude of the event. From the carriage, Yahello excitedly exclaims, "Whoa, something smells good!" Her thoughts still centered on food. A tall, guiding figure, likely Mian, addresses Gu Yangchun, noting that he must be tired from the long journey. Chunishil, the vice merchant head of the Heavenly Exchange, a stout and smiling man, introduces himself and expresses his honor in meeting Gu Yangchun, praising him as the rising star of the Gu clan. Gu Yangchun politely introduces himself as Gu Yangchun of the Gu clan, reciprocates the sentiment, and expresses his honor to meet Chunishil as well, maintaining his composed demeanor amidst the formalities. After the introduction, Mian, the guiding figure, informs Gu Yangchun that the day's proceedings went smoothly thanks to the efforts of Elder Li and Miss Gu. He then offers to lead a weary Gu Yangchun to his room, hinting at the potential for rest before whatever comes next with Miss Gu. Gu Yangchun is seen from the side, looking pensive and annoyed. A stern-faced woman, resembling his older sister Gu Weibai, looms in his thoughts as he mutters, "Miss Gu. Huh. This is really starting to test my patience." Gu Yangchun, Mian, Yahello, and other attendants walk through a building. Gu Yangchun hopes silently that he won't encounter his sister, hinting at an uneasy relationship. Gu Yangchun, accompanied by Chunishil, looks surprised as he sees a woman with long dark hair tied in a high ponytail from behind, confirming his encounter with his sister, Gu Weibai. Gu Weibai, in a red traditional outfit, stands with her back to the viewer, facing Gu Yangchun, her presence exuding authority and seriousness. A close-up reveals Gu Weibai's stern and annoyed expression, accompanied by a sharp "TSK" sound effect, indicating her displeasure. Gu Weibai stands resolutely by a door, confronting Gu Yangchun, Mian, Yahello, and Chunishil, ready to deliver a reprimand. With a stern warning, Gu Weibai admonishes Gu Yangchun, telling him to abandon any mischievous thoughts and emphasizing the importance of not shaming the family name at the Unified Dragon Assembly. Gu Yangchun flashes an innocent smile, reassuring his sister that he will be as quiet as a mouse, and she shouldn't worry about him. Yahello looks on nervously beside him. Gu Weibai reacts with explosive anger, her face contorted in fury as she vehemently yells, "I wasn't worried about you!" betraying her true concern despite her harsh words. Gu Yangchun and Yahello are visibly startled by Gu Weibai's outburst. Yahello, frightened, hides behind Gu Yangchun, clutching onto him. Yahello, still visibly scared, peeks out from behind Gu Yangchun, clinging to his arm for reassurance. A close-up of Gu Weibai's face shows her letting out a frustrated sigh. Ha! Still fuming from the confrontation with her brother. Gu Weibai zud hien voi vi mat lan lung va tu si john, ko noi rengdoi siu ko bo nhi. Din o de kung siu su num wakai sa, the hien su that vong vm tre min. The MC is saying to the other person, "What are you even talking about?" His bigger sister tells him, "I thought you had changed, but I guess people don't change," with a sharp look at Out MC. The door then slams on Out MC and the sister leaves the room. "I be honest, even I would be as confused as him." The MC apologized for his sister for acting weird to the girl next to him, and he went by some place after to check up something, and it looks like we in some arena back in the Roman times. The girl says it's so large, Eve never seen a building so large before, and Out MC is agreeing with her with a big smile on his face looking down at the arena. We get an overview of the arena from above. We then see two people sitting down at a VIP place down at the arena. But then we get a close-up view of two teens fighting each other with sharp blades to the death. Gu yang chun tu vien gak nin dap lai chi gai. Hoi rang ko I dang noiv du gi. Trong kai y seal an ian gung nep sao lung ka. The MC is saying to himself, the only thing for me to do here is to just stand here and watch the match. Yui cooked right now, he not gonna see the next day after that big man behind him. But the story ends here, so subscribe and like and comment the video for more recaps. Fallen Manhwa out.